Welcome to the Playgirl Podcast. It's Bree and I here with another iconic episode. Where all perspectives are respected. Today we're diving into a conversation about confidence. Bree, what does that mean to you?
Confidence is being able to be okay with your insecurities.
Absolutely. I agree. I think confidence is being able to recognize your insecurities, like you said, and your shortcomings and embracing that.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, was there ever a point in your life that you felt like you was at your lowest point with confidence?
Absolutely. There were many times where I felt fugly. But this specific time was in middle school, I would have to say. I think we were all like growing up and just really sort of like becoming actually aware of what we look like and like certain things, our bodies are changing, hormones and everything. So in middle school, I was dealing with a lot, and I would have to say that was one of my lowest points. But I'm grateful to be where I am today, but it still sticks with me.
Right.
What about you?
I feel like in middle school was a really, really hard time for me. I had experienced like bullying on all levels, like even coming not only from my peers, but from like teachers that I thought that I could come to and be able to express to them how I'm feeling, but they like completely like just disregarded how I was feeling at that time, and they still bullied me along with the class as well. So I feel like confidence is something that like I really struggled with, especially during that time.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm so sorry to hear.
Yeah.
Well, how do you implement confidence in your everyday life today?
Well, now I'm to the point to where in my life to where I feel like I say, like whenever I'm feeling like not that pretty, I still say pretty. So it's like a feel ugly, say pretty situation.
Absolutely.
And like I know deep down inside that I am that girl, period. So it's really not that hard for me now to be able to say I am pretty. What about you?
No, same. I think what helps me is just doing things that I love every day, I guess, and just keeping that rhetoric positive in my head, because we all struggle with that negative self-talk, and sometimes on some days it really eats you up. So my thing is I'm gonna sound crazy. Listen, I'm gonna sound psycho, but I have conversations with myself. I do every day in the mirror, or every day when I'm home alone. I talk to myself in situations where I feel like, am I valid in feeling this, or am I right in feeling like this? I'm gonna say, yes, girl. I'm always, that's probably toxic, but to me it's positive. I feel like my inner voice is what's most important, if that makes sense. And that's also a big part of confidence, not relying on other people to sort of validate, not relying on other people to sort of validate how you feel, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I really just try to show up for myself. That's important to me in confidence.
Right. So, like, is it, like, I know you said you had, like, issues in, like, middle school where, like, your confidence was kind of shaken, if you will. Has there ever been a time, like, even now, that, like, you still get those, like, urges?
Oh, my God. All the time. Okay. Literally all the time. I would say probably most recently, maybe it's like dealing with guys, I'm just going to say it in a romantic sense. Sometimes it shakes your confidence because you end up in situations where people don't treat you how you should. And that's when you have to really love yourself enough to say, I'm not going to deal with this. You know what I mean? Right. So I would say, and also there's times like maybe at work where I don't feel like I do the best that I could, or maybe I'm not as good as this worker. But again, it just all comes back to that like self-validation and just really showing up for yourself, being like, hey, I did okay, or hey, I'm doing a great job, and just really showing up as that.
Right. Well, for me, there still be time, like, I'm an on-campus student, so like there has been times like I was walking to the caf and like guys will like literally just be like, "Hey," like catcalling, and like it wasn't like in a "Hey, you pretty" type situation. Like It was more so, you know what, let me pick on her. So like they'll literally say, hey, my friend want to talk to you or something like that. And like in my eyes, like from past experiences, I have like really, like that has been like a really negative thing to me, because it's like, hey, my friend want to talk to you. That's like saying, oh, let me pick out the ugliest girl up in the crowd and say, hey, my friend want to talk to you. And like, I'm like, it just don't give for me, because I feel like, and I don't understand, like I'm really trying, like I really struggle with understanding why people feel that is a positive thing for them. Like, why do people feel like they should do that to others?
No, it's absolutely, I want to cuss so bad, but it's terrible actually. And that's the thing where we have to sort of realize that comes along with learning and growing, is that people project. And what those boys did to you that day is lame and it's stupid. And it's really a reflection of how they feel about themselves. Right. Okay, and so that also brings into the spotlight that we can't allow others to dictate our worth. Okay, they're losers and they're lames. And
right.
just because they're losers and lame doesn't mean that you're a loser and a lame. So,
right.
I want to cuss so bad, but I'm not. I keep saying that. We'll edit that out, okay?
Right.
So I just feel like, I don't know. But it comes with life and learning, and I definitely. Oh wow, time is flying. But I definitely struggle with that too. Not allowing someone's opinion, or maybe someone picking fun, sort of like bring me down.
Right, right.
One question I do have for you is, where do you feel you're most confident? Like, do you feel confident maybe like staying in bed, like watching a movie or two, or do you like love to like get out and like be around people?
Honestly, my social anxiety it won't let me feel confident around like in big crowds. But I feel the most confident. I don't really have a time that I feel like no time exceeds another. So it's like I'm pretty much like on the mutual side with that. Now, don't get me wrong, girl. Get me some food.
Oh, yes.
Have me up in their bed.
Yes.
And on top of that, I'm watching TV.
It's like the best place to be.
And having musicals too. Oh my God.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, it's no real time that like really exceeds another for me. Like I kind of like have like ups and downs, but it's like all of it stays like I'm still kind of grounded, if you will.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sort of like how you are. I like both. There's like elements in that both environments care for me that I feel super confident. Like when you're by yourself and then you can just be look however you want, feel however you want, watch whatever you want, eat whatever you want. There's just no other feeling like it. But then when you go out and you get ready with your girls and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna have the best night ever, that's just like, mwah, chef's kiss. I love it.
Right.
So yeah, I can do both, I feel.
Yeah.
And I love both. So yeah, girl.
Period. I'm just playing. But I really, going back to that though, like confidence is a very, very important like thing to really, be able to embrace.
Absolutely.
Like in any scenario, in the classroom, in anything. So I feel like, especially me being a big girl, if you will, like I feel like we have to pretty much cover ourselves with confidence. So it's like an invisible barrier, if you will, from the outside world. For
sure. Confidence is an important tool, and well, I guess you wouldn't call it a skill, but it's something that is super important to inherit and to carry with you in the world and throughout your life. All right. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for the first episode of the Playgirl Podcast. We are so happy to have you here and can't wait to see you for the next episode. Bye.
Bye.